now come to the urgent question. Kevin Hollingray.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I ask the Secretary of State to make a statement on financial redress for postmasters and outstanding issues relating to the Post Office Horizon scandal?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As honourable members will know, convictions across the UK have now been quashed through recent legislation, and those affected are now able to apply for financial redress under the Horizon Convictions Redress Scheme. The scheme will be wholly delivered by the Department, not the Post Office. All other forms of redress, including those pursued under the Group Litigation Order, will be delivered by the existing schemes. Mr. Speaker, since taking office, this Government has continued to work closely with both the Scottish Government and the Northern Ireland Executive to identify those who have had their convictions overturned. Letters have started to be issued to those eligible, which will confirm that their conviction has been quashed and provide further information on how to access financial redress. But I would encourage those who believe they are eligible not to wait for a letter. Please do come forward now and register for the Horizon Conviction Redress Scheme. We have put guidance on gov.uk to help people know where they stand, whether their conviction has been overturned, and if eligible, how to apply for redress through the registration and application process. Victims will be able to choose from two options. Firstly, they can either accept a fixed settlement of £600,000, or secondly, they can choose a full claim assessment if they believe their losses exceed £600,000 and wish to have their application fully examined by the Government. No matter what route they choose to take, once an applicant's eligibility is confirmed, they will be paid a preliminary payment of £200,000. We're making sure that they can access historical data from both the Post Office and HMRC to support their decision and the application. We also recognise that with the best will and support in the world, in a few cases, some information may not be retrievable. But I can assure honourable members that even in those cases, we will do all we can so that a fair offer is made to sub-postmasters who have suffered this terrible injustice. This House was united in the last Parliament in its wish to see justice for sub-postmasters, and in this Parliament we do intend to deliver on that.
Shadow Minister Kevin Hollingray.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, it is disappointing that I've again had to ask an urgent question to get the Government to come to the dispatch box. It's also disappointing that neither the Secretary of State nor the Postal Affairs Minister has responded to either of those urgent questions. This is a very clearly important matter and one deserving of full scrutiny by this House. And despite earlier promises by him, only 12 days ago, to give the House a significant update, only a written statement was available. One of the final acts of the last Government was to pass legislation which, for the first time in history, overturned hundreds of convictions and set in train the process to provide redress to the victims. We made a clear commitment that these victims would be able to apply for redress before the summer recess. This commitment has not been honoured. Although claimants can now register for redress, to do so they need a reference number that is only available to those individuals written to by the Ministry of Justice, who have today confirmed that only 10 postmasters of the 700 have received such a letter. So can I ask the Minister, when will the other 690 postmasters be written to? Assuming claimants apply for the most rapid form of redress, a fixed sum award, when will the first £600,000 payment be made? The Secretary of State will acknowledge that we had conversations regarding course of appeal convictions and those refused leave to appeal, which were not quashed by the legislation. What steps is he taking to ensure these cases are given assistance to overturn their convictions? The last Government also announced that we would top up claimants in the Horizon Shortfall Scheme to a minimum payment of £75,000. How many of the thousands of claimants in this scheme have been written to that effect? And finally, where is the Secretary of State, or where is the member for Harrow West, who I understand has been appointed Post Office Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, we promised to update Parliament before the summer recess. We have done that by way of a written ministerial statement, and I note that the Shadow Secretary of State himself, when he was the Minister, came and answered on most occasions for the Government. We certainly didn't take that as indication that the Government was taking this matter any less seriously than they should, and that's not the case now either. And I understand the frustration that the Shadow Secretary of State has about the number of letters that have gone out, but there have been difficulties in corroborating some of that data. I understand when the Shadow Secretary of State made that promise as a minister. He did so in good faith, but it has turned out that there have been additional physical checks that have been required. We have had to access court documents, sometimes stretching back decades, which have meant that there have been delays, but the Ministry of Justice have actually put more resource into that to ensure that that carries on at pace. As is noted, the website is now up and running. Applicants can register on that now. I'm pleased to report, as of this morning, already 89 people have done so, and we hope that once verification checks have been completed, that payments can be processed within 10 working days. In respect to the Court of Appeal question, we understand that that was discussed at length during the passage of the Act. It is a matter that is deserving of further consideration, and I understand that the the Minister for Postal Services has indeed had conversations in regard to what we can do in respect to that.